Assalamu alaikum. We're supposed to be getting a snowstorm, I guess. So I thought I would run some water, fill up the house with water again, and fill up the tanks for the horses. We'll see how it goes. I've heard all kinds of stories. I don't know what. Somebody was telling me on the TV that supposedly they said it's going to be the worst snowstorm since 1970 something or other, and that there's going to be like snow drifts, really high. Who knows? But I do have enough wood for. Hopefully, I have enough wood a couple weeks. Worst case scenario, I have enough in my secret stash for probably a month. But hopefully that pallet shop will have more blocks in a couple weeks, because those blocks are burning really great. But anyways, I just thought I'd show you what we're doing to get ready for the supposed big storm. Because we'll find out how bad it really is. So we got the house full, and that was just a little bit of a disaster. The hose came out of the tank about halfway through and sprayed all on the ceiling, and we had to run and pinch it off and stick it back in there. And then we had to go mop the floors, and what a headache. It was almost like we were a little bit off our game today. Everybody's been sick quite a bit, so far I haven't gotten it. My brother's had it for like four days. He's doing a lot better today, but he's still a little bit off his game. I was teasing him, letting the hose come out, that he must not be quite well. Anyways, it's still starting to come down pretty good. We'll see how much of it adds up. So this is the next morning, late morning. I just wanted to show you what a horrible storm we got overnight. Okay, honestly, I mean, like, the snow doesn't even come up over my shoes. But the worst part of it is really not the snow. We really didn't get much snow. There's a few drifts here and there. But the worst part is the wind. It's just awful. And when I got up this morning, like around 6, the fire was almost out. I put some wood in there, and I kind of left the door cracked so it would catch. And one of them wind gusts came, and it just filled up the whole house full of smoke. So that was horrible. And then we had to open all the windows and let the smoke out, and then it got cold in there again. But so far the livestock is doing pretty good. I think I'm going to probably bring the goats in the barn tonight though. And the chickens are all doing pretty good. Most of them are in the barn. They've all got somewhere warm to go. Horses are in the barn, but they've got enough woods that I don't know if I'll keep them in there all night. I just brought them in to feed them. It's so windy out here. It's actually 11 degrees today. And the winds are supposed to be like 30 miles an hour, 30 to 50 miles an hour wind. So hopefully it doesn't take any buildings down or anything, or blow any trees down on anything. Other than that, we'll be great. It's definitely not like enough snow that we're just snowbound and stuck home. Although today is our, we call it Juma, Yom el Juma. It's our congregation, it's like our church basically. So we canceled that because of the weather and the wind. But other than that, we're just staying home, and we've got need. I was just wondering about you guys. Is the storm really bad where you guys were? Or, I mean, like I said, we probably got 3 inches of snow, but it's just higher in some places because the wind's making things drift. But other than that, it hasn't been bad. Assalamu alaikum. It's 17 degrees. Really cold. Not fun. I guess this is probably the one time a year that I kind of regret being a farmer, living off grid. But it's not enough to make me go move to the city. This seems to be the most convenient source of water right now, so I gotta haul water for the chickens from here all the way to the chicken yard, which is over there, and it takes about 3 5-gallon pails to water all the chickens out there. On a day like today, I don't give them much water, just a little bit, because whatever they don't drink up immediately is going to freeze. Normally I would probably give them around 4 5-gallon pails every other day or so, but with it being like this, I just give them a couple pails a day, just make sure everybody gets a good drink and stays hydrated. And this bucket is not going to fit in here. I'm going to have to go get a hammer and bust that open a little more. Alright, so I got a hammer. But yeah, for me, wintertime water has always been an issue. But instead of giving up, I just try to every year come up with solutions to make things a little bit easier, and so next year maybe it won't be so tough. My original plan was to have a heater from my water tank in the barn, but just the way things are going as far as the driveway and everything, me having to come up with that money for that, I just don't have the money to buy one right now. And it doesn't have, I don't know, it might have 10 inches of ice in the bottom of it, but anyways, with this, I try to just make the hole not super big, and of course it'll freeze back over. But need like a screen to put in my 5-gallon bucket so that all the ice chunks don't go in there. Yeah, this part definitely isn't fun, but it is what it is. You gotta do what you gotta do. The animals gotta eat. So rain or shine, that's the life of a farmer. You gotta feed, you gotta be outside every day and give them something to eat, at least for a while. But anyways, my hands are getting cold, so I'll hit you guys back up in a minute. Anyways, I'm in the barn, in the chicken barn. Not sure how well you can see, it's kind of gloomy in here. But actually, it's not bad necessarily working in here as opposed to outside. You know, if you dress warm, it's bearable. There's no wind, and at one point I had a kerosene heater in here so that when my hands got cold, I could just go warm my hands up. And so, you know, then that made it not so dreadful to be out here working. And because, like I said, chores takes about an hour. So I'd work for 25 minutes and my hands get cold or something, and I'd bring a big mug of chai or hot chocolate or coffee out here, and so, every so often I'd pause and take a drink of that and warm my hands until I got the job done. And that definitely makes it a little bit easier. Not so miserable to have to work out here, and it's, 17 degrees, and yeah, you don't have any way of staying warm for an hour while you're trying to feed these guys. Definitely takes the joy out of it. So for me, as long as I can stay decently warm and get in and out and get the job done as quick as possible, so I get by. I don't like it, but it's bearable. It's not bad. I guess as long as it's inside, even without any heat, as long as it's inside where there's, not a lot of wind blowing in on you and everything. So that's how I do it in the wintertime. It's definitely not any fun, but that's what, to me, being a man is all about. There's always going to be a season that you're not going to enjoy it. If we can get through 3 months of winter, it ain't too bad. These are my game chickens. The ones I have outside that didn't sell over the summer, I keep them in keeps like this. And I just wanted to show you guys how you may have noticed in other videos, I like to use soda bottles or plastic bottles for their water dishes. And so I'd explain the reason why. First off, a lot of times dishes, when it's really bitter cold like this, the dishes will break. They'll get full of ice and cracked. That's one thing. So these are just leftover juice bottles that we already had. But the other thing is, these are much easier to get the ice out of. You have to whack it a couple times, and usually the heavier duty dishes like this don't break from that, the heavy plastic stuff. And the ice comes out fairly easy, just a couple whacks. So that's the one reason why I like to use those plastic dishes. They're free, and it's real easy to get the ice out of them. So sometimes I even whack on them with a hammer like this here, just gently, and bust the ice up. And it doesn't bother the dish at all because it's hard plastic. I found like the cheap plastic stuff, like the, for example, a milk jug plastic is too thin and it'll break when you hit it. But the heavier duty soda bottles like that, and those juice bottles, they work good. You can bang them up against a tree once or twice and all the ice breaks inside. And just a little tip for somebody that living in a colder climate. But otherwise, weather-wise, we don't really have a ton of snow. It's not very deep. There are some drifts, but I'd say none of the drifts we have are over a foot. You can see like right here where the snow is just completely blown away from the grass and the driveway. We never plowed it, just blew away. It's drifted like right here a bit, but it's nothing to write home about really. Beautiful scenery, but it's really, really cold. Anyways, I'm about to call it a day. Chores are done until this evening, so I'm about to go in the house and get warm, have a cup of coffee, and hopefully you guys are staying warm too. Peace.